Yeah.
Opinions are free, facts are sacred, but truth is universal.
How, in practical terms, can we, for instance, de-escalate the tension?
President must see himself as the President of the Federal Republic.
We know where the enemy is. 3 places. The Lake Chad Basin, the border area between Nigeria and Cameroon, and then the Sambisa Forest.
On TV360, we give you a complete dose of everything. Opinion, facts and undiluted truth.
I hardly believe what politicians are saying in this part of the world.
A new Nigeria is possible, a future is possible.
We delve into the issues, dissect it so that you can understand it, use it to take action.
I don't think there's any need for any governor to look for grant for ranching.
TV360, dissecting the issues.
Well, thank you for joining us on News Now on TV360 Nigeria. I am Folashade Ogurinde. A State High Court sitting in Owerri, the Imo State capital, has sentenced the former Commissioner for Transport under the Rochas Okorocha administration, Laz Okora for Anyawu, to 3 years imprisonment, having been found guilty of a 3-count charge bordering on fraud, looting public funds and stealing. Delivering the judgment in Court 14, the presiding judge, Justice K.A. Lewanya, said Okora for Anyawu was found guilty of diverting 180 million naira of state funds into a private company account, which is against Section 12 and 19 of the ICPC Act of 2022. According to the judge, Okora for Anyawu was also found guilty of violating the Public Procurement Act, abuse of office, and using his office to gain undue advantage in his dealings during his tenure as a commissioner and ITC chairman. In the face of acute naira scarcity, Nigerians have been struggling to make daily transactions as poor electronic payment systems have worsened the situation. According to the Nigerian Interbank Settlement System, the total value of cashless transactions in February fell to 37.67 trillion naira, indicating an increase in the number of failed transactions. For more details in this report. 35-year-old Temitope Adeyanju is one of thousands of commercial bus drivers scattered across the city of Lagos, Nigeria's commercial nerve center. In a half-a-decade experience of commercial driving, cash has been a major means of accepting payment from passengers, but now all of this has changed. Temitope has had to adapt to electronic means of payment such as bank transfers and point-of-sale machines as a way to beat the cash crunch.
Some of my passengers complain that there's no cash, so I decided to get the POS to make my business more easier. Sometimes we face some difficulties and due to network problem. They were very happy Even some of the passengers came down from other buses to enter my own bus.
Payment slips like this are usually given at high-end stores and supermarkets, but commercial drivers are beginning to embrace electronic means of payments, though many would argue that the cashless policy of the Central Bank of Nigeria has caused hardship for the unbanked. The cashless policy has also broadened the payment options for many business owners. Like Temitope, the experience of electronic payment has been a bumpy one for many business owners. Market sellers who have tried to adapt to the cashless policy of the CBN say patronage has slowed down considerably as electronic transfers often fail.
It affects us very well. It affects us too much because no market. People where we are buying market for us, they don't get money. We are using POS, but the people where we are buying market from, Hausa, they don't collect transfer for our hand.
I would have thought that a cashless Nigeria would have, been helpful to business owners, but it's so devastating because, this whole transfer and confirming, and I can't just allow customers to leave my shop if I'm not confirmed, and network is really bad. So like every day you can see like 4 customers waiting for like 2 hours just for me to get confirmation. And there are disturbance also, like, have you confirmed my mom? They've debited me, it's a lot. So it's hectic.
Look at my shop now. There's no goods inside, but I have cash. I have money in my account. I cannot spend it. I cannot use it to buy market because of the no cash policy. So it really affects my business.
In 2012, e-payment banking operations formally kicked off in Nigeria, but 11 years after, electronic payment channels are yet to be strengthened to accommodate millions of users. While the causes have been linked to poor electronic payment infrastructure, experts say the economic effects have hit hard.
Because of this cash crunch, a lot of people are unwilling to transact business with another person. And the only reason they can transact business with you is if you have the cash. If you tell them you want to do a transfer right now, they will tell you no, that they don't want to transfer, they want cash at hand. And that alone is crippling Nigeria economy.
Banks need to wrap up their infrastructure to be able to contain, right, the influence of requests that they are now receiving on their payment channel.
Nigeria is currently grappling with an unprecedented tide of naira scarcity triggered by the naira redesign policy of the CBN. Just before Monday, the 13th of March, when the CBN broke its silence on the Supreme Court ruling on the redesigned naira policy, cash had become scarce, causing hardship for many Nigerians. Folashade Ogurinde, TV360 News. Although many Nigerians have commended the naira redesign policy of the CBN, they have, however, criticized the implementation process, especially the relatively short notice given to swap the old currencies for the new notes. Giving his thoughts on the extension of the validity of the old naira notes, Frank Osugwe, an alumnus of the United Nations African Institute for Economic Development and Planning, said the move is a welcome development and will ameliorate the hardship on citizens. He added that much needs to be done to quicken the process of releasing money to deposit banks and automated teller machines for citizens to have access to their funds.
The economy is not actually the Nigeria in abyss, but the economy has to do with the people, how the economic policies favor the people, not necessarily how it hurts them. So the CBN needs to come up with economic policies that will actually be effective and have positive effects on the citizenry. The CBN should also understand that, fine, they are trying to fight inflation, but inflation that we have witnessed, particularly in Nigeria and parts of Africa, it's been substantially a cost-push inflation, not necessarily a demand-push inflation. If you are addressing or if you want to control cost-push inflation, you focus on price control. The root cause in Nigeria, I think, is from the hike in petrol price, the hike in energy costs, electricity rates, and related public goods. that is the major cause of the inflation we are witnessing. They are essentially cost-push inflation. And if the government, through her policies, should stabilize the prices of these things and stop fluctuating the price indiscriminately, I think when we have a stable price, automatically the inflation will be a little bit less. Moreover, when you also want to, if we're having a demand-push inflation, it will be ideal to mop money from circulation, because that means the people have excess disposable cash. But right now, the people don't have excess disposable cash. So the CBN needs to understand that we are having a cost-push inflation, not necessarily a demand-push inflation, and come up with policies that will actually solve the problem as well as benefit the people, as well as the nation.
President of the Senate, Hamid Lawan, has advised the incoming 10th National Assembly to maintain a bipartisan approach that prioritizes the national interest amid its deliberations. Lawan said this when he received outgoing British High Commissioner to Nigeria, Katrina Liang, in his office in Abuja on Tuesday. While congratulating the incoming National Assembly, Lawan said that the relationship between the National Assembly and the executive should be based on national interest. Speaking earlier, Liang urged citizens to be proud of the just concluded presidential elections despite disappointment. While expressing joy over her stay in Nigeria, the outgoing ambassador said that she made very good acquaintances during her stay.
All the many bills you've helped navigate through Parliament, which is, of course, the foundation of the whole governance process. You know, it's what goes on in the Parliament and the Senate is really the foundation of a democracy.